Inside this box, I have the Godox IT30 Pro, a really small and compact flash that has a lot of great features for you to use. I've tested this out over the last month, so let's talk about it. The Godox IT30 Pro is one of the smallest TLL flashes that I have ever tested. And if you don't know what TTL means, it just means through the lens, which basically means it can talk to your camera and it turns this into an auto-function flash, which can be really easy for you to use if you're new to flash systems. It is USB powered, and it even has a working touchscreen here for you to control it. Hey, my name is Johannes and I do a mix of street photography and commercial work. And I'm always looking for nice compact gear that can fit in my bag or in my pocket for me to carry around and use if I want to get creative or get some shots that I cannot just get with an ordinary camera. And I think that the IT30 Pro here fits in perfectly for this kind of scenario. I also own bigger flashes like the Godox AD200, which is a really nice, big and powerful strobe flash, or in some situations that you can use to work against the sun. The IT30 Pro does not do any of these things, but it is really small and easy to carry, and it doesn't really cost that much, which gives this kind of flash a totally different purpose. This is a consumer level flash designed for ease to use and portability. Great if you want this hard-on flash kind of look, or if you just want a fill flash that you can use when you are outdoors. It weighs around 120 grams. This makes it perfect for travel or street or on-the-go shooting when you're out with friends or families and you might need a little bit of a fill light for a certain situation. So this could, for instance, be if you are watching a sunset and you need some light to fill in when you're trying to do those beautiful sunset portraits. The flash also works as a transmitter, so you can use it to control other flashes from the Godox systems, which is a really nice extra feature. This means that if this is your first flash, you can buy this, use it whatever way you want to use it, and if you decide to buy perhaps a bigger flash for a studio setup or to get some even more punch when you're out in daylight battling the sun, then you still have this flash that you can use as a transmitter, which means you can take your new flash off your camera and position it in another way to get some more creative lighting. And if you already, like me, have other Godox flashes and already have another transmitter, then you can also use this flash as a transmitter, which means you get an extra flash that you can use in your studio setup. And it might not be able to battle the bigger flashes, but you can still use this as a hair light or something like this to add an extra light to your setup, which is of course a nice thing to have when you are doing portraits or product shots even. So inside the box what you get is the flash and a charging cable, and that is really it. You can also get the TRF hot shoe riser, which I definitely recommend, and it will elevate the flash a bit off your camera, which, if you are using a bigger lens, can help you elevate lens shadows that might occur when you're using these kind of small flashes. And the riser here can also help you angle your flash a bit upwards if you don't want that hard-on look that you might else get if you're just putting it straight on the camera. So this means that you can bounce the light against other surfaces, or that it will take off some of the punchiness of the flash look if you don't want that really hard look. So the build is just plastic, but it feels like a solid product in my hands. So there's really nothing to complain about here, I think, because this will also make sure that the product is lighter. The flash has a recycling time of 1.5 seconds on full power, but I rarely use a flash on a full power, I must say myself. There is a built-in battery inside, again a nice feature, and supposedly it can shoot around 506 flashes, which is a lot of fires. So you can see how much smaller the IT30 Pro flash is compared to the AD200, even with the riser on it. So let's talk about the main features of the IT30 Pro and why this is actually a really nice product. We briefly talked about the TLL function, and this flash also has TLL. And as I said, this is more or less auto mode for flashes. And this can be really nice if you just want to pop it on and start using it. And with a simple adjustment, you can say, I want a little bit more light or a little less light if it is too much power or too little power in the flash. And TLL is just a really nice function if you don't want to mess with settings and you just want a flash that you can use to fire. And I've tested other small flashes, but none of those had TLL. So this is a really nice feature to add to a small and compact flash, I think. So I also mentioned that this works as a flash trigger, which means it has a wireless function, so it can connect to other flashes and tell them how to work or when to work. And this is, again, a really nice thing to have, because if you have more Godox flashes, then you can pair the flash here with other flashes, and you can start making those work together and get more creative with the way you set up your flashes. It also comes with a touchscreen, and I guess in these days where we all use smartphones, we're really used to using touchscreens. So again, another nice feature to have on a product like this. On the side of the lens, there is a button to navigate between narrow and wide. And basically what this means is that you can tell the flash to shoot in a more narrow angle, so you get a more harder light punching through, or you can tell it to do a more wider shot, so it would even the light out a bit, and you will get a more softer lit scene than what you will do with the narrow beam. So this can be useful in certain situations where you want to change the beam of light. And the way it works is actually that it will put a sort of a small modifier over the flashlight, so it will also soften out the light. So when you are doing like portraits and you don't have another modifier, then you can use this modifier to take a bit of the punchiness out if you don't want that extremely hard-on kind of flash look. Another feature that this flash supports is high sync speed. Again, a couple of years ago, this was a really pro feature and you needed to invest a lot of money to get a flash that could do high-speed sync. And put it really easy, what this means is that if you don't have a flash with high-speed sync, and you use a higher shutter speed, usually like 1/200 or something like this, you cannot use the flash anymore with your camera, because you will start get banding. So you will get a part of your image that is white and a part of your image that is black. And this is not useful. So when you are out in a really punchy sun, you cannot turn your shutter speed up, and then you will need an ND filter to battle this, or else you will get a blown out shot. But when you have high speed sync, your flash still works with your higher shutter speed. So in this example, if you go over 1/200, it will still work and you will not get a lit and black screen. You will get a normal exposed shot. This can be really useful, especially if you perhaps want to darken your background a bit. Then you can turn up your shutter speed until you get a darker background, and you can use the flash to fill in the light, and you can get a portrait that is really punchy and looks great even in hard midday sun. And as I said, this used to be a really pro level feature couple of years ago. So you can also use this flash as a slave unit. The flash also supports first and second curtain, or for front and rear curtain shooting. Again, not all flashes supports this, and it is a creative way to use flash if you want to. And lastly, the flash also supports multimode or stroboscopic flashes. So it can fire a lot of flash bursts really quickly, and you can get a really creative kind of look where you will freeze time many times in a short amount of time, and you can get a creative photo that looks like this. So the interface is pretty simple. You have the buttons here that you can press to enter the menu or as a set function. If you tap the screen, you can enter certain menus, and if you swipe to the left or to the right, increase or decrease a value. You can also use the rotating knob dial thing on top, and this works as well as a increase-decrease dial. So as I mentioned, the IT30 Pro isn't about big setups. At least for me, it's more about everyday real life use, easy to carry and easy to use. It's really great for those moments when you're out with your friends or your family and you just need a little bit of extra light. And this works, of course, really great if you're shooting against the sun, because when you do this, you will struggle with a really silhouette kind of look on your subject. So as you see here, I'm out in the autumn sun. There are a lot of deep shadows and the sun is punching in really low and hard. So my wife is more or less not possible to see using the flash here, even kind of far away. It is able to brighten up her face a bit to get some more light on her face so we can actually see what is going on. Perhaps this was not the most beautiful photo that I've taken, but it still proves how you can use a flash like this as a fill light. I actually just used the TLL mode here, and then I adjusted the power a bit if I didn't like how much light was coming out of the flash to light the scene. And having a flash with you and being able to use it to light up shadows is a great way to be more flexible when you're shooting, because if you don't have a fill flash with you, then you are way more reliant on how the light is in your scene. So around $99 or 85 euros, I think you are getting a lot of great function for a small and easy to use product. If you would like to add the hot shoe, it costs around $17 or like 14 euros, I think. And I do recommend buying this because this will just help you in those situations where you get that lens shattering. If you compare this to native flashes for your camera brand, this is actually really cheap because flashes from native brands can be really expensive. The flash system here comes for all the big camera brands out there, for Sony, the Fuji one that I've tested here, Nikon and Canon as well. And if you compare the flash here to a Godox trigger, then it is actually not that more expensive to buy the flash here, get a trigger inside the flash, and then you have a flash and a trigger. So my final thoughts, I hope this is clear by now. The IT30 Pro isn't meant to replace a professional studio setup, but as a on-the-go flash or a fill flash, this is a really nice and great product that offers a lot of pro features that you can use to get more creative shots. So if you are a hobbyist or enthusiast or even a pro that just wants a small flash that is easy to use and carry with you, then this Godox IT30 Pro is really a no-brainer, I think. Anyway guys, this was all for now. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really means a lot to me and I appreciate it quite a lot. Take care guys, and I will see you around. Boy.
I'm the biggest in the game, I'm the one they talk about. Everybody know my name, my resume is loud.